Hail and Meshes Adventures, it's me, the Spud King. Welcome to the world of Baldurs Gate 3. And today I want to show you my build for the Warlock with Fiend subclass. So you decided to be a Warlock. Warlock is nice spellcaster class for beginners because there's not a lot of options, but you need to be smart when you picking these options. That's why this guide can be useful to you. And I will show you leveling up of this Warlock and full build from level 1 to level 12 and how to play it. While a race is not providing any ability bonuses right now, you can pick whatever race you like, but I recommend some races with cantrips. So for example, Tiefling will work nice. I picked Mephistopheles Tiefling to have Mage Hand, and that's just nice utility cantrip. So when you pick in Warlock, you will be prompted with 2 from the 7 available cantrips. And you definitely want to pick Eldritch Blast, it's your bread and butter for Warlocks, best damaging cantrip in the whole game. Then second cantrip can be wherever you like, but I tend to stick with Minor Illusion. And basically everything in this guide is what I like to play, and I will show you how to play it. So Minor Illusion is nice cantrip to just distract enemies, start the fight with some surprise, and Eldritch Blast from the shadows. So our subclass is of course the Fiend subclass, and it will give us subclass feature Dark One's Blessing. So Dark One's Blessing is basically when you hit someone and you will destroy them, this will give you additional hit points, temporary hit points. So this blessing can be good or bad in different situations. Sometimes you just need to spend your awesome abilities to destroy some low health, not important targets, just to get your temporary hit points. So in these situations it will be kinda bad stuff, but most of the time it's just nice future. So let's go to spells, and you got a large variety of spells when you pick in, and most of them is kinda good spells. But don't forget, you can't use them all, so you need to learn spells and you need to be smart about it. Because we will use Eldritch Blast as our main damage ability, we don't need these damage spells at the first levels, so we pick Hex. Anyway, it's like best spell for Warlocks, and what it's doing, basically it's giving you additional damage when you hitting someone with your abilities. So for example, your Eldritch Blast doing 1d10 damage, but if your target is hexed and you can hex them as bonus action, so this means you can do it before you Eldritch Blast, this will add 1d6 to the Eldritch Blast. So basically on the first level you already can do from 2 to 16 damage, and that's kind of big numbers considering your like level 1 character have only 10 HP, so basically you can one shot another Warlock at level 1. And second ability can be wherever you like, but again, you will use Hex as your main spell, you will use Eldritch Blast as your main damage spell, so most of the time some supportive stuff like Armor of Agathos will work nicely. That's our level 1 build, and let's go to our ability distribution. So for skill proficiency I like to stick with Deception and Intimidation as our picks, and we can use like Sleight of Hand and Stealth proficiency from our background. And let's go to our ability distribution. So pure ability distribution will look like this. We got 0 into strength, we got a little bit wisdom and intelligence to round it up to 10, because as you all know, only even numbers give you bonuses. So if you got odd number, for example 9, it gives like no bonus, and it's same as 8. So we stick with 10 to have 0 bonus, because 10 is 0, 12 is +1, etc, etc. That's why we go to the dexterity and constitution with 14 points in each, and this will give us bonus to our armor class, our weapon of choice. Most of the time you will use finest weapons like daggers, as you can see on this Warlock, but actually most of the time you won't be use any weapons at all, you will use your Eldritch Blast. Constitution for our health points and for keeping our concentration, because Hex is main spell as I told you, and it requires concentration. So main stat is Charisma, it's our main spellcaster stat, that's why you want to have 15 in Charisma, and this will help you in social interactions and of course in your damage abilities. And now you just add +2 to your charisma to increase it furthermore, and +1 into dex or con. of your choice. I like to stick with Constitution to have my concentration going on, but you can go definitely with Dexterity. So our level 1 Warlock is done, and I guess it's time to show you further build up. Let's go to level 2. So on level 2, as the Fiend, you will gain 1 more spell. So right now you can have different spells. I recommend to go for Burning Hands. It's melee spell, because when you use ranged spells in melee range, you will have disadvantage and probably they will fail. So you need some melee spells. Burning Hands works very nice. You will just fire up your enemies in the melee range. Or Arms of Hader. It's melee spell, and additionally it have disengagement like ability, so it prevents targets from using reactions. If many melee characters surrounded you and you will try to run away, they all will use reactions and hit you while you're running away. That's nice choice, just in case of emergency. Again, you don't want to use your slots, your spell slots, more on that just in a minute. That's why you want to use Arms of Hader, but right now you want to pick Eldritch Invocations. And this is invocations that will just increase power of your Warlock. For my build, just a stick, and we are actually improving our Eldritch Blast. So Agonizing Blast will give Eldritch Blast our Charisma modifier. We got high Charisma, and this will increase this damage of our Eldritch Blast just for a lot. There's a lot of different and funny stuff, but we want to stick with Repelling Blast as our second Eldritch Invocation. It will give our Eldritch Blast pushing action, so when you Eldritch Blast someone, you push them 4.5 meters away, and base movement speed is 9 meters, so you just push someone for 4.5 meters, you run away for 9 meters, and probably they won't actually catch up with you. Right now you can change and replace your spells, but we won't use it because we need our spells, we like our spells. So let's continue. And we are level 3 Warlock, so again we get access to more spells. And now we get a lot of different level 2 spells, and we can pick one of the pacts. So Pact of Chain will give you ability to find familiar, and you will get a lot more powerful familiars than just basic ones. So not crabs, but nice quasits and imps, and they pretty nice and useful in a battle too. And got different interesting abilities. For example, Quasit can scare enemies. Pact of Blade will give you ability to gain powerful weapons. So for my build I want to pick this because we are range caster. Pact of Tome give you ability to pick cantrips from and gain cantrips from additional classes. Guidance, Vicious Mockery and Turn Whip. That's all nice, but again most of the time we will use our Eldritch Blast, so let's stick with Pact of Chain for my build. And for spells you can pick wherever you like. You can get more like powerful spells like Scorching Ray, for example, it's doing 6 to 36 damage, very nice. Or another good stuff will be Hold Person to disable any enemy you will see that is humanoid. So when you see humanoid you can use it and disable them. So let's stick with it, and let me show you how you play this early game Warlock. And if you just copying completely my build, don't forget that when you pick in this race Tiefling you will get Legacy of Kanya Burning Hands, so you don't need actually to pick this Burning Hands stuff when you're leveling up your Warlock. So as Warlock you will get 2 spell slots at this level. So what spell slots do? Other mages will get a lot of spell slots, but for Warlock it's only 2, but they regain on short rest. So you need to pick and do all spells that you want to stick with you, like Armor of Agathos for example, before the fight. So just go and cast Armor of Agathos on yourself. You will get temporary hit points, and you will deal damage to any creature that hits you with melee attack. And you lost 1 spell slot. So if you're planning to use any spells on your next fight, better just go and use short rest. Just like that. That's how Warlocks played, and when you use all your spell slots, you can't be using any spells in the fight. But you will be able to use cantrips, yeah, so that's why we got cantrips, Minor Illusion and Eldritch Blast. So Eldritch Blast can be casted as much as you wish. Just like that. So let's go and find our first enemies. So you Warlock in your first fights. You already got Armor of Agathos, so you got some additional HP, and you are pretty tanky for just mage. You want to start fight with Hex. So let me cast it. He hexed right now. So, but don't forget, there's ability saving throws. So it's not like saving throws, it's ability checks. There's different stuff, and some spells, for example, Hold Person requires Wisdom saving throw. But Wisdom saving throw is not ability check. So it's not like a wisdom check. That's why most of the time you want to hex with strength, dexterity. That's like most common ability checks that enemies will face. But sometimes just check on your spells and your party member spells what they can do. And if they prompting some ability checks, then definitely cast them. So we casted our hex and we just used our spell slot. That means we can only cast hex 2 times in a battle, yes, but we got 3 enemies, so how do we do with them? Hex is actually awesome spell, so let me use Eldritch Blast on this dude, and we just pushed him 4 meters away. Let me show you our damage and what actually happened. So we rolled our attack roll when we used our Eldritch Blast. We hit armor class, so we rolled 15, armor class of imp is only 7, and now we're rolling our damage roll. So damage roll will be 1d10, it rolled 7, so we're doing 7 damage, but we got this agonizing blast that adds our charisma modifier, which is +3, so we're doing already 10 damage on level 1 with just only our Eldritch Blast. But additionally, target was hexed and we doing one more roll and it's done 6 damage from 1d6. And now we got our hex back. So as you can see, there's stuff on my head, this weird stuff, I don't know what is it, but it shows that we got hex. And we can reapply hex without using any spell slot. So don't forget this when you play in Warlock. So we end our turn right now. We let enemies attack. So he attack us, he miss, then other enemy attacks not us, and that's keeping our concentration going on, so we can just go and use our hex. So we reapply our hex without using spell slot, and then just try and attack our next target. Then again, we're using reapply hex, and make sure to use reapply hex. If you use normal hex again, it doesn't make any difference, but you're losing your spell slot. So use only reapply hex, and just like that, this is like Warlock gameplay loop. You're using hex, you're moving around and using your Eldritch Blast, and hex stays on targets for 10 turns, and if you kill target before hex done, you get this reapply hex again, and it will stay for you for all day basically. So let's go and level up more to show you complete build and how you play in the later game. So when you level up to 4, you gain additional cantrip. It doesn't matter too much, so you can pick like Blade Ward, maybe you need some defense sometime. Additional level 2 spell. For the spell you can get Misty Step. It will give you ability to run around and to take best positions in a fight. And you get additional feat. There's a lot of feats you can use and that is good for Warlock, but as first feat I tend to go and stick with ability improvement, so we just round up our constitution and charisma, so we will get +4 to our attack rolls with Eldritch Blast. Level 5 will give additional class feature, Deepened Pact, and our Pact of the Chain Familiars will gain extra attack. Now we can pick level 3 spells, and you can pick actually good spells, for example Stinking Cloud to disable enemies, you can pick Vampiric Touch for better sustain, Hunger of Heather to inflict more damage and control some area, or you can stick with Fireball to inflict a large AoE damage, because Warlock is a lot more like single target person, you know, Eldritch Blast attacks just one target before level 5 actually, because right now we get additional Eldritch Blast cast I guess, and we get additional Eldritch Invocation. This time you can pick Fiendish Vigor to cast False Life on yourself and get a lot more hit points. So let's just pick it. On level 6 you got additional subclass feature from the Fiend. You gain additional 1d10 to add to ability checks. So it's nice feature when you're in a trouble and you need this stuff to succeed this ability check sometime. You gain one more level 3 spell, for example Fly can be useful. Again, I like more utility spells when we play in this build, and we can just forget some spells, but actually I like this build. So we got Fireball, Hold Person, Misty Step, Armor of Agetus, Arms of Hadar, Hex, and of course Fly, so we don't need to replace any of those. Level 7 Warlock. And this will give us ability to gain level 4 spells. So for level 4 spell for this build, I will just go with Fire Shield. Fire Shield will coat you with fire or cold, depending on what you choose. And this will start with Armor of Agetus, so basically you will have a lot like damage refraction when someone trying to hit you. And you don't want to cast it instantly on the fight start, because it lasts only 10 turns, but if you see melee attackers in front of you, you can use it. And you gain a lot more Eldritch Invocations and one more choose. We kinda got our build going, so nice choice will be Devil's Sight to just get distance of 24 meters to see normally in darkness, magical and non-magical. Level 8 Warlock. So we will get additional spell, and you can pick like Dimension Door to teleport. So it's nice utility spell when you exploration something, investigating like area around you, or even in a fight to save you and you're alive from some place. But you can use Blight for just really big and nice damage. And you get additional feat. So right now we need to pick smart feats, and we kinda get like two choices. So nice choice will be Warcaster to give you advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration, so your hex on targets will always stay on them most of the time. Additional nice feat is Spell Sniper. This will reduce numbers that you need to roll, so it will increase your critical hit rate. But on level 8 you will have a lot of tough enemies, so Warcaster is a really nice idea to have, so you won't lose your hex, because spell slots is so limited you need to count them. So we're going to level 9. On level 9 you will get level 5 spells. There's not a lot, just 3 spells available, and depending on your role in your party you can pick Hold Monster if you want to just fight with big monsters a lot, or if you want to have a lot more damage, go with Cone of Cold or Flame Strike. Considering we got already some fire damage, we can alternate our build with Cone of Cold to have ability to inflict cold damage if enemies got resistance to fire damage, for example. And one more, Eldritch Invocation. Again, right now build is done, so you can pick wherever you like. Maybe you want to speak with beasts a lot, so just have beast speech. But I like to have speak with the dead. Ritual, it's funny, when you're killing someone, go and speak with them, what will they think about you. So let's go to level 10 now. And on level 10 you will gain one more cantrip, but you don't need any cantrips, so you can pick Friends for some utility stuff. So one more spell of level 5 is advised actually, and you can pick like Flame Strike or Hold Monster depending on what you want. So we can even extend our damage abilities with radiant damage with Flame Strike, because it can be casted as radiant damage. And there's additional action, Fiendish Resilience. You can pick damage type and be resistant to it. And let's go to level 11. And now we gain our Mystic Arcanum. So Warlock won't be able to get to spells of level 6, as you can see we get spells level 5 only. But we can cast level 6 spells with Mystic Arcanum. And you can pick wherever you like. For example, Circle of Death is nice AoE damage ability, but it will do damage to your allies. So if you got melee damage party, it's not advised to use it a lot, for example. But Flesh of Stone is really funny stuff, so let's pick Flesh to Stone. And let's finish and wrap up our build on level 12. So we get one more spell. Again, pick wherever you like. We can get for Wall of Fire, for example, for some zoning tools. We get one more Eldritch Invocation. And again, just pick wherever you like. Beast Speech is my choice, just to speak with animals when I want, just for fun. And we can get our last feat. So last feat can be Spell Sniper, as I told you, to wrap up our build and increase our critical strike chance. Or we can go into ability improvement and dump 2 into charisma, so we get our charisma to maximum and get this stable +1 damage. Just like that we finished building our Warlock. So final Warlock looks like this. We got 3 spell slots, We got a lot of actions and a lot of spells. So we start our day with casting of Armor for Gatus on ourselves, of course. We got Fiendish Resilience to pick our damage type protection, and that's like one of the only ways to get resistance to force damage. So if you're facing a lot of warlocks, just go and pick this damage. Maybe you're just running around in some fire, so get fire damage resistance, whatever you like. And of course we casting False Life on ourselves. Then we summoning our familiar. And best familiars will be Imp or Quasit. I like Quasit. So we got our Quasit. And just like that we are ready to go into the fight. But let me just show you Flesh to Stone spell on this Quasit. So he failed our first saving throw. He will be prompted with second one. He failed this one too. And if he failed last saving throw, he will become petrified and become this stone boy, stone man. When someone petrified, it's just easy, you can attack them and they will disappear into ashes. And you can use your short rest. So at exploration, don't forget you can speak with the dead, for example with this person. Like, how are you? He don't talk with us. And let's go to the fight. So before fight, don't forget to get your Quasit ready. So, late game Warlock in the fight. Again, first stuff that you want to do is actually apply Hex to anyone. And then just focus this target. But on last levels you will get 3 projectiles of Eldritch Blast. So you can go and focus one person, or you can focus different persons. So for example, you can split this Eldritch Blasts between these 2 persons. And just go and cast this Eldritch Blast. That's basically your main focus as Warlock. Additionally, you can go with your Quasit, you can try to scare enemies, you can go into invisibility, so he will become more protected. Or maybe ambush someone on the next turn. And then just think what you want to cast, because you got limited spell slots, but still when you got your reapply Hex you can cast it whenever you like. So we can think maybe we are ambushed, use Arms of Hader to get away from your enemies. You can use Misty Step to just teleport on any area that you like. For example, you can teleport over here if you think it's like best position for you in this fight. Just best position is always incredible stuff to do. Or you can cast like level 5, level 3 spells that is powerful and you think they are good. So for example, even level 3 Fireball will do 10 d6 damage. So you can cast it on every enemy that you see. And it will probably destroy them. Don't forget to reapply Hex before you do it actually. And just smartly use your spells and Eldritch Blasts to try and dominate your enemies. So I guess you will enjoy playing this Warlock build, and if you want builds for other classes and other subclasses, watch in the pinned comment. Maybe they already done by me and I will make pinned comment with every race and subclass. But for now, go and watch videos on the screen. They are awesome and you will enjoy them. See you in the next videos, guys.